Hey there, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I really appreciate you being here, it means a lot. So last week I did an interview with WRTV and that interview just went live. So I was just gonna do a quick little reaction to it. So here's the full article. Where's my cursor? There we go. So here's the full article. I met with Nicole, who's in the video right now. She and I did an interview, and since I'm a write-in candidate, they did not actually include me for the actual television event, which I did not realize. So this article is mostly about the other two candidates, but at the bottom, they finally mentioned me in a little blurb. So this is me. And here's a portion of the interview. It was, gosh, I think it was there for about 15 minutes or so. Looks like they choked it down a bit. But anyway, let's watch that.
Meet Noodles. She's part short hair.
After we watch this ad, apparently.
Ninja. Meet the new Bissell Crossway.
I don't know how to make this bigger.
It's part
How do I make this
mop,
bigger?
Steamer and Ninja Nemesis.
Oh my gosh, I did not want to do that.
Clean.
No.
Out of all the places I've ever lived.
Oh, here we go. Okay. So, here we go. Hopefully it's not terrible. We'll see.
Out of all the places I've ever lived, Carmel has been absolutely my favorite. Not saying that just to be biased, but it is genuinely an amazing place to live. It's quiet, it's safe. Before I was doing this.
Oh yeah, okay. So there was actually a long lead up to this portion. So she asked like, oh, so did you grow up in Carmel, things like that? And I told her like, no, actually I grew up kind of a nomad. When I was a kid, I was born in Fort Wayne, Indiana. When I was about 5 years old or so, moved down to East Tennessee, moved all over East Tennessee. And when I graduated high school in 2002, I moved up to Indianapolis. I lived all over Indy. And I think I lived in every part of Indianapolis. And the longest I've ever lived in one spot was right there on the Carmel border. Moved there in 2011. And then after that, I moved further into town. US 31 116th Street, kind of that area. And it was mainly because I was tired of my car getting broken into all the time and I needed a bigger place, so it kind of worked out. But anyway, yeah, so that's where this picks up, is that little clip right there.
I was in real estate investing, stock market investing. Before that, I spent a long time in sales and engineering. I'm actually not terribly interested in politics. Not something that was ever on the radar. I just felt like it's something that had to be done. Last year, I was really upset because I felt like I'm tired of complaining every year or every couple of years, however often, about having a politician that doesn't actually represent me. And then I realized, like, if I don't see that politician, I have to be that politician. And the way I was raised is, if you see a problem, there's nobody doing anything about it. It's your responsibility to step up and do something.
So yeah, so she asked me like what my background was and all that kind of stuff, and also why do I want to run for office? So the reaction was obviously not like, I don't actually want to get in politics. On that note, when I was a kid growing up, I used to go hiking all the time with my dad, and I remember we were going through the woods, and there was trash laying there. And I think there's another time where I like threw trash on the ground as we were like hiking through the woods, through the park. This is in Tennessee. And he was like, well, if you don't pick that up, then who's going to do it? And I was like, I don't know. They have people that come and clean these kind of places, don't they? And it's like, well, how do you know? If you don't do anything about it, then who is? So if not you, then who? So that's kind of where that philosophy originated from.
So here I am. Top three things. Number one, obviously, slow down development, specifically 5-story apartment buildings. I actually would like to see more development for 1 to 2-story commercial retail spaces for small.
Kind of zip through that real quick, but as far as 5-story apartments go, like I'm the only option to slow that down. I know Sue Finkham recently came out and said something about like, oh, we need to consider more about this particular issue. So we're going to set up yet another committee. Like that's the whole core of her platform, is to setting up just a whole bunch of committees where they're going to have developers and business owners and residents who are approved by her and her campaign to actually sit on this board. So the whole thing is an absolute farce. So it's just a placation to try to pretend like she's going to do something about slowing down 5-story apartment development, but that idea is the core of what is baked into the city planning commission and how to continue to develop and grow and all that kind of stuff. So there's absolutely no way that her donor pool is going to allow for us to stop building 5-story apartments. So yeah, kind of zipped over that part, but that's pretty crucial to my campaign. So anyway,
local businesses, because all of them are getting priced out. So I would like to see a hybrid of space like that with green space, to where people can hang out, walk their dog, have dinner from George's Hot Dogs and go to the other building next door, and then hang out with Sally's Art Gallery or something like that. I think that would be really cool. So I am open to that development. But the second thing
it's cool. That's actually something I don't really get to talk to you about a whole lot. So it's nice that element was added, because it's a piece I don't campaign on very much, but it's something that's actually pretty near and dear to my heart.
On is kind of tied in with the first one. Just get us to live within our means, live within a budget, no new debt, no new bonds, just maintain what we currently have and pay down existing debt.
Yeah, so the reason why that's tied into the first thing is because 75% of our $1.5 billion worth of debt mostly comes from the TIF program, or the TIF districting, and the development of these 5-story apartment buildings. So that's why those two things are tied together.
So just fiscal conservatorship, really. And then the third thing, my actual vision for the city, the fun thing that I'm running on is I would like to see Carmel lean more into the arts. It's got an amazing foundation to be an art town. I just think it's a little undertapped, underutilized. So we have all these sculptures and all these roundabouts that cost, I think, like some $250,000 each. We've been paying some guy in California. I would much rather auction those off, take the proceeds, and then have an art festival where local artists or Indiana artists can show off their works, and then Carmel residents vote for the favorites, and whoever wins, that's who gets commissioned to replace that statue. And basically, eventually phase out everything that's outside of the state of Indiana and make Carmel primarily like a mecca for Indiana artists. Like I said earlier, this is something that was absolutely burdened upon my heart. So it's not my campaign. I feel like this is something the Lord is calling me to do, which is something far greater than myself, and I'm going to follow through with that regardless. Out of all the places
I don't remember what that question was that led to that last part, but I'm actually quite thankful that it was added in there, because I tell people all the time, like, one of the biggest reasons why I'm running for office is because the other two candidates want to just keep their foot on the gas with the overdevelopment of 5-story apartment buildings, which is true. But the core reason, the actual reason why I'm running, is because it's something that I felt led in my heart to do, and I feel like this is something that has to be done. And it's ultimately, it's something that the Lord's calling me to. And because it's that and not something of a personal pride or ambition or a desire for money or power or fame or anything like that, I feel like it'd be really easy to resist any of those types of temptations that tend to sway most politicians, because this is much bigger than me or any of my ambitions. And I really want to focus on doing what the Lord wants us to do as leaders, which is focus on the people you're called to serve. And that's my focus, that's my direction, that's my heart towards all of this, and that's why I'm running the campaign the way that it's being run. So anyway, that's all I've got. So I really appreciate you tuning in, and as always, stay classy. And I'll see you in the next one, which actually will be after the election, which is interesting. So anyway, take care. Bye for now.